Coach, you talked after the loss last night about conditioning, wanting to get up and down a little more in practice. Is that something you're able to do the day after a game today? Or?
Yeah, it's definitely hard because we had guys that starters played roughly 28 minutes, and third quarter I ran that group the whole third pretty much. And now you're in the middle of a 3 and 5 in the preseason, so obviously not ideal timing with that, but it is what it is. I think we got to challenge ourselves and push ourselves, and we have 2 more games to try to do that. Game conditioning, because you can replicate it in practice, but unless you're just going to blow it out and put 12 minutes on the clock and bring some reps in, it's hard to, because there are also some things that we have to clean up and get better at, and that requires drill work and teaching things and getting the proper repetition. So it's a fine line, but we'll get there. I have no doubt about that. Today we watched film. Obviously, a lot of the things that we can clean up upon from last night. We had 14 blow-bys for 22 points. That's where your defense starts, is on the ball. And then we have guys helping, but we're over-helping. So now you got 2 or 3 guys going into the paint. Now that 3-point line is wide open. So just some things and muscle memory and repetition that we can help our guys with.
Does the Abu Dhabi trip factor into any of that at all? The weird week off between games, This is why I asked about persnickety,
Yeah, I still don't know what that means, but as Muhammad Ali said, man, if it's good, I'm it. I would say one of our coaches told me this morning that, I don't know if it's true, maybe it's an old wives' tale, but it takes a day for each hour when you come back from a long trip like that. So 10-hour time change, and we're not even back to that yet. I think it's only been a week since we've been home. So I'm sure there's some carryover from that. Yeah. But my retort, because I'm not one to give into excuses, is I look at the Boston-Toronto score at halftime last night, and I said, well, it's not affecting Boston. They had 71 points at halftime, and Toronto had like 22. So it affects everybody differently, but I'm sure there's some hangover from that trip, and that's why it's great that we have tomorrow night and we have the game in Minnesota, and then a week more after that to conclude our preseason and get ready for our season opener.
Where do you think Jamal is, conditioning-wise, health-wise, etc.?
Well, after last night, going into the game, he's been great, and that was the weird thing about last night, is that he told me this morning that he'd been feeling great, and all of a sudden last night during his pregame warm-ups, it just was starting to feel a little funny, if you will. And a lot of times he's able to just kind of get going and play through it, and it'll loosen up.
You say it, you mean the knee, right?
Yes, yeah. And last night that wasn't the case. So, but up until that point, Ramon, he's been healthy, ready to go. Yeah. And I asked him this morning, I said, where do you think your conditioning is? And he feels it's in a good place. For years we did a conditioning test, the old beep test, and Jamal would win it every year. Huh. And the funny thing about it was, I don't know if Jamal was ever the best conditioned player when he won it, but Jamal's mental and his ability to endure the pain is just second to none. And that's why he was able to just fight through. And a lot of other guys, they got to a certain beep and they were like, man, beep this, I'm done. So, Jamal is pretty special in that regard.
Can you describe the beep test?
Well, it's a series of beeps, obviously as the name suggests.
I figured that, yeah.
And I forget what the distance is between the cones.
Okay.
And the beeps start out at a fairly slow pace.
Okay.
And so first beep, you have to get to that second cone before the beep comes on.
I got it. Okay.
And so I would say it's probably from the baseline to, I wouldn't say 3/4 court, but it's a pretty good distance. And then the beeps get quicker and quicker. Okay. And we would say for the big guys, you have to get to at least 14. The wings have to get to maybe 16, and the guards have to get to 18. And Jamal, and some guys would get their required number and say, I'm good. But Jamal was never going to settle on getting just 18. He was I'm going to run everybody until you stop before I stop. And it was always impressive to watch him do so.
You've always been like his biggest fan. I remember asking me before, like when he would have a shooting struggles or whatever, it was like, or even when he was hurt, like you would pump him up, pump his confidence. Why is that? Is it because of that stuff like that, or is it?
Yeah, and just his journey, our journey together. I mean, that's the thing when I think about the fact that I'm in my 10th year here in Denver, which I never take lightly. And you're with Nikola for 10 years, you're with Jamal Murray for 9 years, and Jamal and I will laugh. I said, man, he used to be Gary Harris's backup. And we had Emmanuel Mudiay and Jameer Nelson as our point guards, and we reminisce about that, and he's like, man, that's crazy to think about. No disrespect to those guys, but his evolution as a player, as a young man. But no, you come to love these guys, and we're with each other so much. And that's what's incredible about Nikola. I mean, how great he is, night in, night out, year in, year out. But I'm always going to have our players' backs and try to help them deal with whatever adversity from a health standpoint or on the court struggles that they may be having. Because as my father taught me, X's and O's are great, but it's more about relationships. And your players have to know that you care about them.
You had mentioned Aaron Gordon in Abu Dhabi is not feeling 100%. Where is his body at right now?
Yeah, I think he's in a good place. I give him credit. I think that the calf injury from game one, those kind of soft tissue injuries always kind of linger a little bit, but I think he's a guy that came into camp in good shape, and he knows his body, he knows his rhythm, and is doing what he needs to do to kind of get to opening night. And the challenge of that for me is making sure each guys have their own, but I don't look at I'm looking at collectively. We as a 5-man unit, we as an 18-man roster have to find a way to get our rhythm together. And we've had it in bursts. Andrew Munson sent me a text last night that really kind of picked my spirits up, because I was somewhat concerned after the game last night. Not because we're 0-3. Like, the record means nothing to me. It's more about the ability to stack plays and stack quarters and stack minutes together. And he said, listen, our first half offensive rating, defensive rating, net rating is really good. Our second half, that hasn't been the case. And I said, well, so we played our starters the entirety of the third quarter, and we gave up 37 points. But overall, so I think Aaron, he's moving in the right direction, and we have 2 more opportunities to get he and everyone else ready for the OKC opener.
One more. Does Munson frequently text you after games, random things like that, just like if it's a pick me up or whatever?
No, I wouldn't say often. But he's. He sent me a text this summer, like in the whole, conversation around our team is the 3-point line and how we have to diversify our offense, which I laughed at. Yeah, because you're not at a top 5 offense every year. You don't win a championship just 15 months ago. But he talked about how shooting threes would be great, more threes. Like, no one's anti-shooting more threes. But our best offensive rating games last year were games where we scored 60 more in the paint. Our best 3-point shooting games last year didn't take our offensive rating through the roof. So just kind of keeping things in perspective. But Muntz has a really good feel. He knows who I am. He's very studious. He knows the team. And he's always offering great insights, not only into individual players, but also more from a team standpoint that allows me to kind of refocus at times. Okay, Ryan, I'll give it to you.
All right, Ben.
Extra innings here.
Don't appreciate it.
Since my Mets got their ass kicked last night.
I just wanted to ask you how you feel the starting shooting guard competition is developing.
Yeah, I mean, it's Julian played great last night. Like, if you ask me, what were the positives from the game last night? Even though it was a loss and there were a lot of things we could clean up. The turnovers improved, which was great, which helped our transition defense improve. We had great numbers on the offensive glass. But I think the 2 positives from a personnel standpoint, I thought Julian Strawther continued to play well. He's playing very efficiently in terms of his field goal, his 3-point. You can't leave all those empty points on the free throw line. He should be a high 80% free throw shooter. So I thought that was a real positive. And then I thought Zeke Naji was a real positive last night. I really thought Zeke came into the game, knocked down shots, had a presence at the rim, had really good defensive discipline. So those were probably the 2 guys that I said, I really enjoyed watching them and how they played the game last night. With that being said, regarding your question, obviously it's never going to be just about who's playing better in a vacuum. It's always going to be about, yes, who's playing well, but also who complements that unit. And right now, to be honest, I think CB and Jamal and Michael and Aaron and Nikola, that's a group that really complements each other well. I think Russ, when we get Peyton Watson back, and that's been really hard for us not to have Peyton, but I think Russ, Julian, Peyton, Dario, and whoever else, I think that's a really good complementary group as well. But I will give Julian some more chances to get out there and start and play with that group. And then we have 2 more opportunities to kind of see opening night what we feel will be the best 5-man unit for us, for our group. But both those guys are doing their job, and they're going to make it a tough decision.
Cool. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you very much, Coach. Thanks. How was the day today?
How was the day today?
Yeah.
I mean, it was good. You know, we were pretty kind of like motivated, you know, because our performance, not just this game, like all preseason was kind of like bad. I can say soft a little bit. And we realized that, you know, our defense wasn't on a level. We were on a level, so kind of like know that we have a next game tomorrow. You know, we need a quick turnaround and try to play as best as we can and try to play 100% every possession.
Some people say, well, it's just the preseason. But how important is intensity in building habits now?
I mean, it's a 50-50, you know what I mean? It's a preseason, still games doesn't count, but you want to perform well, you want to have like just kind of like chemistry between the players, especially offensively, how to sit up, and defensively you want to be, if not 100%, at least like 95%, you know, because we have just 2 more games and season is started. We will not have a time, you know, but because I think the West is going to be pretty tight, you know, 1 win, 2 wins going to decide maybe a couple places. I think it's really important to start the season well, so I think these 2 games is important for us to kind of like get in a game rhythm and you know, start the season well.
Right.
Does it stress guys out if you know that the West is going to be 1 to 2 games like separation? Like how tough can that be throughout an entire season, knowing that it matters that much?
I think it can be stressful, but like sometimes if you get like 3, 4, 5 wins in a row, you can jump out like a couple places. So, you know, it's stressful, but it's not. You know, you still know you got like a couple games coming in a week, and you can turn yourself from let's say from the 6th seed until like 3rd or 2nd, you know, in a week or 10 days. So it's a benefit from that, but you can fall from 2nd to 6th, 7th.
Very quickly.
So it's like what I say is like 50-50, but I think it's really important to start the season well. You know, if we get like the first kick out of the gate, you know, it can be really important for us late in the season.
What surprised you about this team and joining this team in the first 3 preseason games?
What surprised me?
Yeah. What did you not know about them that you've maybe learned?
I mean, the other team can beat the Denver. You know, obviously Denver was so tough, you know, last couple of years, and now to see like we kind of like, I can't say the struggle, we can't overreact, but like 3 preseason game we could play better, you know, but we still have like what I say 2 games more. You know, nothing really surprised me. The most, I think, like a great group of guys, you know, that's like really what stood out, you know. Obviously, if you want to win the championship, you need to have like a great connection between players, you know, have like real team bond on the court, off the court too. So, you know, pretty friendly group of people, and, you know, good chemistry early on in the season.
Where would you say that the second unit is in developing that chemistry? There's obviously a few new pieces mixed in there.
Yeah, what I say, we have 2 games, you know, we don't have a lot to figure out, but obviously maybe first couple games of the season we're gonna still figure it out, but I think we have like good pieces. I think we react well in some situation yesterday on the court and then Boston game, but I think we need to keep that all the time, the pace, you know, the quality defensively, offensively. We can't have like too many up and downs, you know, like a second unit. I think that need to be really important for us, you know, because the first unit is going to do their own thing, but we need to be like, you know, fast and furious and, you know, like relentless. So that's going to be really important for us, you know, to win some games. And sometimes, you know, second unit need to win some games this season. I think we have a quality for that, but still kind of like figuring out, but we're going to be there.
What's the most important thing that you want to accomplish between now and the start of the regular season, if there was one thing?
I mean, have a good habits. Obviously, you know, defensively, to everybody be on the same page. You know, if we say low man needs to be down there. You know, sometimes that's the game. You know, things gonna happen. You know, some guys gonna make wrong decision. You know, everybody. It's a basketball, but like, you know, try to have like good habits in the long term. I say be everybody on a kind of the same page. How we want to guard certain situations, certain players on the court. So, you know, and you know, it's good to build the habits on winning. You know what I mean? Like, and just be on the court. Sometimes you can play a bad game, but win the games. You know what I mean? I think that's really important for the long term, for the championship team. It can't be always 100% of your possibility every night. So sometimes if you are not 100%, you need to be able to win some games. And I think, you know, never show up that in certain years, but like this is the new season. I think
How much easier has the process been for you, learning and feeling at home, having Nikola, having Vlatko, having Augie that can speak in your language?
Of course, it's a good thing for me. You know, easy to adjust in the locker room, some information on the court to get, you know, some feedback. You know, what the coaching expecting from me, from the Augie side, from the coaching standpoint, and you know, to have guys, you know, to talk about basketball or something outside of basketball. It's always nice, you know, on their own language, let's say. It's a kind of easier to explain some things, you know, obviously. So I think it's play a good role for me, you know, to have those kind of guys, you know, next to me every day.
Are you a Rakia guy?
Rocky?
Rakia?
Yes, one, two, no more than that.
Yeah. Two might even be too much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Dario. Appreciate it.
Media training. You gotta teach them early.
James, Tyler, Alexander.
Watch out, bro.
You know Trey got like four first names?
No, I don't.
He does. Steven, Tyler, Steven Allen, Alexander, the 19.
Trey for the third, bro. You third? No kid. It's good.
About them, bro.
I know.
So Russ, why'd you bring Trey today?
You know, at some point in life, they gotta understand how to talk to people.
Yeah.
And media training is the first point of that. So today he's gonna learn from one of the best.
Has Trey been lacking in that regard so far?
Unfortunately, yes. Today is the day where we start a new process, and hopefully he learns from today.
I want to know if Trey has questions.
He probably has a lot of questions.
I
do. I mean, I grew up watching Russ in OKC. You're right. Me and Trey got a nice picture. Me and Trey got a picture together. When I was,
he had the
how old were you, Trey?
out the frame. I was 9 years old.
And I was playing. That's crazy, right?
Yeah, nah.
It's a crazy picture. OKC. That's how we connect right there. Me and my boy Trey there.
You went to a game there?
Yeah, I used to go to a lot of games up there. Yeah.
How important is intensity in the preseason, sort of setting habits versus, you know, not wanting to go too hard, get hurt, that kind of thing?
It's very important. I mean, the game is a game, regardless if it's preseason or not. I think mentality, you got to be able to bring the same intensity every night. There's a minimum of guys that can turn on and off, and I don't believe in that for me, and I wouldn't condone it to anybody else.
Well, there were some questions about defense last night, and a lot of different things kind of pop up there. But when other teams are shooting as many threes as they are against you guys during this time, what's sort of the message in terms of defending the perimeter?
I think last year this team was really good at guarding the three, and I think now teams are just coming out and pulling. We got to do a better job of starting the game with a sense of urgency, knowing that guys are pulling, guys are shooting and making. We got to make a miss.
Your play with Jokic just in Kalab, was that the first of many, or there already been a lot in practice?
That would be, I would just say the first of many. That counts. So I'm looking forward to. Big told me some lobs, so I haven't had that in a while. So I'm looking forward to that.
Where would you say you and Jamal are at establishing chemistry when you guys are sharing the court?
Just trying to figure out where. He likes the ball where he orchestrates that. It's my job to be able to do that and manage the game and be able to see where he can be effective while we're on the floor.
How much was part of the appeal of Denver kind of getting to be involved in some inverted pick and roll stuff and working on some.
I mean, just being on the court with Nicole is already enough for me. My job is now just to figure out, make it easy. He makes the game easy for myself and just utilize him the best way I know how.
Looked like you guys were having fun. I know that pregame video went around with like you timed him on his run and stuff. Like, is he a little more fun? I mean, than people realize with his.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a good dude overall, and I think it's important people get a chance to be able to see his personality as well as mine. So I think it's good to be able to see it together.
How long have you guys known each other? How long has your relationship gone on?
I mean, I've known Nicole a long time since he's been in the league.
Yeah.
And over the years, got a chance to be able to see his growth, which was great. Competed against him many times, All-Star weekends, all of that. So being able to see him still be the same person, and still not changing who he is, representing where he's from, to me is most importantly. I got you, Dario. Last question right here. I got you, brother.
So you've been like you are the face of the Thunder. You've been MVP, a future Hall of Famer. How do you think he's handled the status he has?
I mean, he handled it so well. It doesn't really matter to him, to be honest. And that's so unique about him. He wants to win and play the right way. He just plays basketball at a really high level and knows what he's doing, knows what's going on. And to be able to have that leisure, it's amazing, something to be a part of.
I feel like there are ways that you can help him manage some of the off-the-court pressures, given your experience.
Definitely,
yeah,
for sure.
Can you give us some insight into how that might be?
Just understand me, just for him alone, just operating different things and how you want to operate it. But he's also, I also understand that he also has responsibilities that I may not have, and being from Serbia and understanding his background. So there are some things I could teach, but there's also some things I don't know yet. So the more I learn, the more I'm able to kind of put my 2 cents in.
Is there anything you've learned sort of about his background that's kind of stood out to you so far?
Yeah.
Such as?
See, one thing about me.
We like the details. Right?
I know that's unfortunate for y'all. But one thing about me is when I create relationships and talk to people, like talking to Trey, I get a chance to learn a little about Trey, where he's from, what part of Oklahoma he's from. But I keep that between us as brothers. No offense to you guys at all, but the conversations I have with Nicola, the conversations I have with different people that they share with me, I keep that for me internally and between us two.
So we got no chance of finding out he texted you this summer trying to recruit you? Or?
Zero chance.
In terms of on-the-court chemistry, you and Julian, I think, had a little connection going last night. What have you seen from the youngsters so far?
Just been aggressive. I love when Julian's aggressive, miss and make. He's really gotten better from this year to last year to this year, and I'm excited to kind of see his progression throughout the season. He's going to be playing big minutes, and he makes a lot of shot maker, so my job is to make the game easy for him as well.
Is there anything you're still hoping to accomplish over these next 2 preseason games?
Just continue creating our identity, sticking to what we know. We know we can win basketball games, but win in the way that we know how to. We got another week or so to do so looking forward to that.
One more?